The parent nap trap. Okay, so your child doesn't seem to need that much sleep in the day. They don't nap as much as their friends. They cope fine. They just don't really seem to need those averages that everybody talks about. And they sleep brilliantly at night. So the lack of daytime sleep's not impacting on nighttime sleep because you've got a little one that sleeps 12 hours straight and it's all blissful. Sound good? Maybe some of you are thinking, I wish. People say this quite often, that's what's happening. And they might be talking about, I don't know, a 14-month-old or a 15-month-old who's getting, you know, maybe half an hour in the day, if anything at all. But they're quite happy because they sleep brilliant all night long. I'm always hearing warning signs when I hear that. I always want to say, please, warning, I need to tell you, you could be on borrowed time and you really need to know this. If you or someone you know has that kind of scenario, it's rocky ground and it is not going to last, and you might have to be the one to break that news. If you're on borrowed time, the reason why I say you're on borrowed time is because there's going to come a point where the child's lack of daytime sleep is going to cause them overtiredness that actually does affect the night's sleep. So perhaps at the moment they're managing really well to sleep at night because they're actually so shattered from lack of daytime sleep that they just go, yeah, I've got no fight in me, boom, they fall asleep easily. They're literally having crashed out sleep, and it's quite often that will only happen now and again, but if your child's sleeping like that every night, they really are tired and they're having like crash out sleep. And a parent might say, so, I don't really care, they're asleep, we're asleep, everyone's happy. Okay, good, enjoy it while it lasts, but it probably will catch up with you and with them. And there's a few dangers to this. So on the one point is that if the child is sleeping that way, the chances are they're not actually practicing much in the way of settling and resettling. So when they go to bed at bedtime, they're not working very hard to go to sleep. They're not practicing their self-settling skill because they're just crashing out with exhaustion. And their night wakings, because we all rouse out of our sleep several times in the night, those rousals will be so shallow and they'll be still so sleepy that they'll just fall back off asleep without, again, really having to work or make any effort at that. Because they are in that heavy level of overtiredness, they're very sleep deprived. So this could cause either a lack of developing their self-settling skill, or it could actually deteriorate an existing skill that they have. If they have already mastered that skill, it could very quickly deteriorate and they'll start to forget how to do it because they're not getting practice every day. They're just crashing out. So there are two big warnings on what could be happening whilst you're letting that happen. Then what will probably happen is, as their sleep needs shift and change and they gain a little bit more stamina, they do still need some nap going on, 1 or 2 or wherever they are, whatever age. But if they're still not getting it or they're still not getting enough, they'll start to hit a level of overtiredness. So their stamina's grown a bit, they're not quite so exhausted and crashing out, they are overtired. And if they hit that place of overtiredness, you'll start to see one or all of the following 3 things, and that may be difficulty settling at bedtime, which often leads to bedtime battles, night wakings or more disturbed, lots more wakings, much more disturbed sleep and unsettled sleep in the night, and early rising. And you may get all of them, or you may be lucky and only see one of them, but the chances are some of that is going to show up once this sort of crash out sleep phase moves, they move beyond that. So then you've got general overtiredness to contend with, and the answer is they need their daytime sleep. That's what they need the daytime sleep. So when parents say, oh, my child manages on virtually no sleep compared to all their friends, and all the books say this and all the averages say that, but no, my child's different, they can cope and they sleep brilliantly all night long, so the overtiredness doesn't affect the night sleep, as I would say. And I would say maybe not yet, but stand by, it's coming. And it will be. I'm talking about a child that's drastically underslept in the day for their age and developmental stage. It's going to catch up with you. You are on borrowed time, So take action to get those naps sorted now, sooner rather than later, because it will only get harder.